For over 20 years, a stage musical inspired by The Wizard of Oz has been entertaining theatergoers with its backstory on the Witch of the West. It was inevitable a film adaptation would eventually be made, and now that Wicked has arrived, director John M. Chu has crafted a highly enjoyable musical escapade with one show-stopping number after another. Even though this only adapts the first act of the stage show, watching it makes it difficult to believe this only makes up half the story. The two central witches are given proper character arcs, with the story also exploring some worthwhile themes on how certain groups are unfairly ostracized. What helps pull one immediately into the story is the sympathy for Elphaba, the future Wicked Witch of the West. The film properly establishes the way she is judged for her green skin and everything she has dealt with her often responding with a proper remark. A key element of the film is her relationship with Glinda and how that evolves throughout the story. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande's interactions manage to dip into their specific personalities and how they deal with suddenly becoming roommates. The humor is a particularly winning aspect of Wicked, with several laugh-out-loud moments, primarily from Grande, who finds exactly the right comical approach to playing Glinda. What Chu particularly succeeds in doing is staging the musical numbers, which feature plenty of great tunes by Stephen Schwartz. It's easy to see why these songs became so beloved among those who saw Wicked on stage, and Chu opts for an old-school approach rather than relying heavily on hyperactive editing. The choreography is excellent, making terrific use of Nathan Crowley's production design. The highlights of the film are Elphaba's I Once Sung, The Wizard and I, Glinda's comical number, Popular, and the famous Defying Gravity. The latter is particularly breathtaking, with Erivo putting everything into belting out that song, and it becomes a deserving rendition of this legendary piece. There's a clear admiration for the story of The Wizard of Oz, and the familiar nods feel like proper world building rather than just there for the audience to point and recognize. There's additionally a political commentary on how anyone can be treated differently just for their appearance or their standing in society, and that's explored with a lot of intelligence. The beginning of the film mentions that this is part one, which seems surprising for a stage musical adaptation, and yet the filmmakers managed to tell a complete story with no character feeling shortchanged. Where it leaves off definitely makes one curious to see how the stories of Elphaba and Glinda and other characters like the former sister and their respective love interests are told in part two. Wicked provides almost everything you would want from a big musical production. John M. Chu and his team have pulled out all the stops to bring us this rendition of the Land of Oz and its inhabitants while also devising the various musical numbers. Each song becomes pivotal in developing these witches and doing a lot of fun things with the characters and setting. The movie even allows time for quieter moments, which further enhance the story and the feelings felt by these beings in this magical place. The movie feels a lot shorter than the 2-hour and 40-minute runtime would indicate, as it becomes a highly engaging take on this green witch well before a young girl from Kansas shows up.